This is an interesting story. The Ashley Madison website has been hacked. I find this absolutely fascinating. Ashley, I suppose I should make a disclosure here. Ashley Madison actually advertised on our program when they first rolled out. This was, what, 6 years ago? Something like that? You weren't here, Shane. They advertised on our program. And on Stephanie Miller's program, too. In fact, I think she was much more effective at promoting their website than we were because they dropped us after a couple of weeks. But because they advertised on our on our program, Louise and I did this together. Went over to their website and signed up. Now they don't have a credit card from me. They don't have a profile from me, and they don't have any activity from me because I never used the website. But they do have my email address. And so the people who hacked their website are saying, we're going to reveal the emails and the credit profiles and the activity of the people who are on this site. And there's an interesting piece over in Salon pushing back saying, wait a minute, if you want to out Bill Cosby, I mean, he's a public figure who has made public morality his shtick. And, shaming African Americans for not being good enough citizens and all this kind of stuff, pull up your baggy pants, et cetera. And, if it turns out that he's led a less than admirable life, he's fair game because he has made a career out of attacking people whose lives have been, at the very least, less than successful. But if you're going to go after people who are simply using a service to basically, for those of you who don't know what Ashley Madison is, it's a website where men and I don't know if there's a gay version of it or not, or if there's a gay part of it or not. Literally, I have not been on the site since the week that they advertised on our show, or the 2 weeks, whatever it was. But basically, men and women would go there and say, "Hey, I live here, so and so, and I'm interested in having an affair. Do you want to have an affair?" And it was a hookup site for married people. And so the Salon piece is saying, that's just not fair. This is sex shaming. What we're essentially, the era that we've come into now is, and frankly, I think that this is the history of the United States and England, and I think it's unique to the English-speaking world. And it goes back to Queen Victoria, who was, for whatever reason, very, very, very sexually repressed. And it was during her, one of the longest of the British monarchs, during her reign throughout most of the, 18th century, 19th century? I forget when she was and what century it was. But anyhow, during most of her rule, that suddenly women in the UK had to completely cover up and, basically sex became verboten. And maybe Elizabeth I, I don't know, she was referred to as the Virgin Queen. But in any case, I remember when we moved to Germany back in the 80s, you go to the public swimming pool, and basically any kid under 10 or 11 years old was running around naked, women were topless. Nobody thought twice about it. It was no big deal. There's grassy areas around there. The guys would go over and just whiz in the grass. In fact, I remember one of our first trips to Germany, we were driving along, and here's a bus that had pulled over to the side of the road, and there was about 40, maybe 30 men lined up, and they were literally all peeing in the grass at the same time as the cars are whizzing down the freeway. Right? You would not see that in the United States. It's like we are hysterical about body parts and sexuality and gender and all this. And I don't know if this is a talk radio topic or not, but is what Ashley Madison is doing even wrong? I mean, people used to just meet in bars. Should we outlaw bars? Should we outlaw Ashley Madison? I don't know. So, not that I'm an advocate of infidelity, but I think this is interesting.